Okay, that's about all I'm going to do on these mountains. That's a very simple little mountain to do. I think you'll like it. Prussian blue, phthalo green. I like phthalo green. Put it right in there and put some crimson in with it. Ooh, a lot of nice, rich, dark color. Let's make some trees. Grab the old fan brush. And we'll just fill it full of color. A lot of color on both sides. And let's go up here to the canvas. Big decision time in our world. Does now. Lives a happy little tree. I'm going to push upward. Make little pushy up trees. Just use a corner of the brush, push upward. Phthalo green in there just gives it a nice little effect. I like that. Painting is such an individual thing. Even from day to day, my mood changes. What turns me on one day may turn me off the next. Tell you what, it's interesting. In the last series, we showed a little baby owl. I hope you've seen that. He was about so big. He was just a little ball of fur. In fact, I think I remarked that he had the same hairstylist as I do. God, he was nothing but a ball of fur. Look at this rascal. He's now a full-grown owl, and he was absolutely beautiful. I sat and talked with Luke for a little while, and a little nervous getting in the cage here. That son of a gun's got some big toes. Look at the claws there. I am so fascinated with these little creatures, and I hope you are too, because I like to show them to you. Scratching a few little sticks and twigs. Your masterpiece is finished. Hope you've enjoyed this one. From all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless my friend.
This idea that if you're in a barber shop and you have two mirrors and you look in one, you see an infinity of reflections. Well, in these lattices that relate to dense sphere packing, which are the special lattices, they have angles that are at 60 degrees, the faces to one another, and they don't reflect the way you see a reflection with two opposing mirrors, like in the barbershop. They only reflect a finite number. They don't go to infinity. So take this mirrored cell, which is a cell of a certain type of lattice, and so if we take this mirrored tetrahedron, so if we take this mirrored tetrahedron, which itself is a cell in the fundamental lattice, which is the maximum packing of spheres in 3 dimensions, and we notice that the reflections don't go to infinity. They end. So you can say, okay, well, what's the most complex lattice where none of the reflections go to infinity? When it goes to infinity, you have a sort of breakdown in this set where you can count the reflections. And so you can do this in 3D like this, 4D, 5D lattices of the dense sphere packing algebra. This is very important for doing mathematical physics. And so, in some sense, you could say that if you're focused on that important mathematical quality and you want the richest Lie algebra or associated lattice, you want to go with this 8-dimensional lattice or crystal correlated to the maximum sphere packing in 8 dimensions and its associated vector algebra, the E8 Lie algebra. If they have a knowledge that my nose is closer to them than my ears, even though all they're really seeing is a flat 2-dimensional image. So this is an analogy to say that mathematically one can recover the information of the higher dimension lattice that encodes unification phrases from the lower dimensional mosaic tiling code 4 dimensions, which is quasi-physics. What you think it appears to be. It turns out that So one can focus on a mathematical approach that only uses the higher dimensional crystal and see how far they can go, okay? Or one can take the transformation of the higher dimensional crystal to the lower dimensional space and see how far they can go. There's an important caveat, though. The quasi-crystal, the shadow or the projection, it's a three-dimensional shadow of an eight-dimensional crystal slice. This quasi-crystal that we work with is actually more complicated than the higher dimensional crystal mother from which it was born. And the reason for this is because it is really a child or a product of two parents, the mother crystal and the father, if we can use this analogy, projector. So the projector is a special object. It's an angle really, but it's a hyper vector, a hyperprojector, and that hyperprojector combines with the hypercrystal mother, and the two together act as coefficients to produce a product, where products are generally greater than the sum of the two coefficients that created them. And so the quasi-crystal itself is a richer mathematical object, a more complicated mathematical object than either the father projector, the hypervector, or the mother crystal. And furthermore, it is distinctly a language, a mosaic tiling language in 3D.
In your pristine state, what you call your soul, your higher self, your total self, the many different words and labels and definitions that you have for that, is simply your consciousness itself. And you are part and parcel of the prime consciousness that you call God, that we call all that is. So therefore, consciousness is the primary frequency itself. And this is the stuff, so to speak, of which you are truly made. Your body and your physical reality, though it is an apparency that you exist within your body and physical reality, actually, technically speaking, exists within your consciousness, not the other way around. So therefore, perhaps you can say, for the purposes of reference and point of view, your body is at the center of the sphere of your consciousness. This particular understanding again lays down a foundation and also lays down the extent to which you actually create your own reality. Or again, by extension, you are not even truly within a reality. The reality is within you. It is not that dissimilar from what you call waking up in the morning from your quote-unquote sleeping dream, which we call dream reality, sleeping dream reality. When you are within your sleeping dream, you are engaged, your senses are experienced, you feel, you see, you hear, you touch, you smell, you taste. It is real while you are there, and no one while you are dreaming, except perhaps an incongruity with this physical reality, can convince you otherwise. Yet when you wake up, you come to the realization, well, I guess that reality was actually within me. And this is a direct analogy to how your higher self or oversoul dreams your physical self into reality. Literally. Therefore, when you quote-unquote die or transform from this particular point of view, you have a similar realization, a similar sensation that the very concrete reality that you used to exist within actually exists within you. This is at least a sense of this idea, that analogy that we have seen. You are conscious. The expression of your consciousness is your physical reality. Your pure consciousness is totally connected to your physical consciousness, to your physical self. You are not disconnected from God or all that is, and you are not disconnected from your soul or higher self or full self. You create the appearances, but this is the degree of your power. And when you begin to recognize or again feel connected, you bring along with that the realization that you truly have always been connected. That you are exploring seeming to be disconnected, but are truly connected. You are always an expression of all that is. You are always an expression of your higher self. No exception. There are particular signs, perhaps you can say, that your higher self will recruit or send to your physical self, allowing you to align, allowing you to realign to the purposes of that higher self. The particular vibratory translation that we are sharing with you this evening is what you refer to as excitement. For our definition of excitement is that excitement itself is the vibratory energy that tells you in no uncertain terms that the thing that you are excited about is most used from what is available in the situation. Your willingness to use that excitement as a barometer, to use that excitement to validate the message from your higher self, by acting upon that thing that excites you with integrity, creates the life that you say that you prefer. Now we do at this point make the distinction of acting upon your excitement with integrity, and understand that when we say integrity, we mean integrity as coming from the word integration, which is a realization, not a moral standard. The realization that everything does exist within you, by extension, can also be stated is that everything is all one thing, one event within you. Therefore, one integrated, interwoven, synchronistic reality. Your willingness to begin to look at it that way and act as though it is an extension of you. Act as though everything is a reflection within you. Acting in that manner, from that orientation, is from the perspective of integration or with integrity. So when you are looking at the things that excite you, truly understand that you have all the power you need to create anything that you desire or are excited about without harming yourself or someone else. For again, someone else is simply a reflection of you anyway. And if you are treating everything that you interact with as an extension of yourself and affording that degree of respect to everything, your actions always then express your knowingness that you contain that degree of power. Perhaps there is the appearance that stepping over the heads of others to get what you want is a powerful expression. But it is truly, from our perspective and understanding, the expression of helplessness, powerlessness, not believing that you actually have enough power to do it without harming someone else. One person winning at the expense of another is simply one truth, one reality. It is not the only truth or the only reality. And what you commonly refer to as win-win situations are another truth, another reality. So therefore, you have that degree of power to create your own reality if you begin to be crafty enough at this point, having perhaps different habits, to begin to remind yourself of this. And in that sense, align yourself with the intention to act in this way, with the intention to express that power without it being at the cost of yourself, self-denial, or at the cost of someone else, denial of other reflections of yourself. So therefore, this is the degree of your power. And therefore, in aligning with that power, in aligning with your purpose, in life. Your excitement is a never-ending and constant indication of your purpose, from moment to moment to moment. There is the distinction of the thing that you are most excited about as perhaps being one of the main purposes in your life. But also do we speak in each and every given moment. There are always a series of choices that are available, immediately accessible. And using your excitement to that degree in the moment from what is available, choosing from those choices with your excitement as the criteria that you will not settle for less than, and then acting upon that option in whatever way you can.
Prickly